time on training people better and having the best experts come and train people. And I've seen some of the training, so I know how they're doing it, and I think it's going to be effective. I think, though, that it's also fair to comment on the fact that the police, it's the fastest growing category of calls the police have now, growing 12% this year on a year-over-year basis for emotionally disturbed people. And we can't go on assuming the police service, notwithstanding how good the training can be, are the answer to dealing with those people. I would argue that many of those people should never be coming into contact with the police because they would have their mental health issues looked after by the healthcare system. And so I've been talking to the Premier about this. I've made some statements about it, but it is just an area where we are still way behind where we need to be. And so, yes, we have to deal with de-escalation on the part of police so they don't have to use lethal force on people who are ill. But we also have to cut down dramatically on the number of those people who end up in encounters with the police because they haven't had the mental health care they need. So I am confident, though, the police service, based on a report written by Mr. Justice Iacobucci, are doing way more than they were before to have zero of those incidents end up ideally in the kind of tragedies we've seen in our city.
We have a bit of a soul-searching question from Lorianne on Facebook, and she wants to know if being mayor is everything you thought, and what is the worst and best thing, and also what you didn't expect.
Well, the best thing is just the encounters you get to have with people. I mean, I could go through even just this week and tell you the encounters I've had at events I've gone to and places I've been where I've heard stories from people, met them. I was with a group of young entrepreneurs last night who were graduates of this DMZ at Ryerson. To hear the businesses they've created, the event was held in a place where they've created a business that's now global, mostly North American, but also global, in selling people temporary tattoos. And by temporary tattoos, I don't mean the ones you put on your hand that last for a day. These last for 3 months. But because through some magic of how they figured it out, it only goes down into the skin one layer, it actually then fades away and goes away in 3 months. And you may say, well, who cares? Well, I think a lot of people would love to have a tattoo and either would like to change it every 3 months or know that it'll go away.
Did you test it?
And no, I did not, but I'd be willing to. So in any event, but these are people that are coming up with these jobs, and so how inspiring is that they've created jobs for themselves and for other people? So that part is good. The part that is difficult is just accepting the fact that no matter how hard you try, you are never going to satisfy everybody. So no matter what the issue is, I mean, we talked about the subway, any of the issues we've talked about today, there's always going to be somebody out there who's unhappy and sometimes really unhappy about it. And you just have to accept the fact that you do your best, you try to be honest, you try to do the right thing, but there's still going to be people out there, whether it's media people or just citizens, who are unhappy with you, and you like to think you can try and satisfy everybody, but you can't. And the rest of it has been much as I expected. It's a very challenging job, it's a very demanding job, but those are the kind you want to have. So I don't complain about that. I volunteered for it.
And I think the last reader question we probably have time for. It's a bit of a fun question, although there's some seriousness in this debate that's been happening around the city. Art from Facebook wants to know, it's fairly obvious the biggest issue Toronto is facing in this bold new age is the increase in Pokemon-related injuries and deaths. Do you plan to make the city more safe for Pokemon Go players?
I was having my kids, actually, I'm being honest about this. I mean, I'm 62 years old, so I had my kids explain the whole Pokemon thing to me last night because I'm unlikely to be going on my phone and doing it, both because I don't have time and it's just not something I'm likely to do. And I'm convinced, having heard all about it, that it is a trend that will pass, like a lot of these things do, and as a result we don't have to enact a lot of city measures to deal with it. But they're telling me extraordinary stories of their friends who sit at their desk and are doing this, or who are walking all over the city. One of my kids had a friend who walked 10 miles, lost 10 pounds walking some huge number of miles all around the city doing this. And I'm thinking, really? But look, everybody's going to do what they want to do, and I don't think we have to take any city measures. I'm not planning on calling any unscheduled meetings of city council this summer to deal with it.
Well, with some seriousness, there is a pedestrian safety road plan happening that would potentially benefit some of these
I have
players.
literally watched, because I'm sure I asked my kids last night again, I've seen people sort of walking around holding their phone like this across crosswalks like when I've been going around the city. And so you're right, I mean, you can't be doing two things at once, and nobody can. So I just hope people, as they go about playing this game and having fun, if that's what they're doing, that they also remember that they have to be careful. But government can't legislate that stuff. I mean, you just have to sort of rely on people's common sense, like a lot of things, and hopefully everybody who's doing this is engaging in a measure of common sense.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next section. While we have you here, we're going to try to do a lightning round of questions. We're going to give you a choice of 2 options. You're going to pick one and tell us why. You only have 10 seconds.
Right,
We're good with that?
I'm ready.
Okay. First question. This one's pretty straightforward. East or west?
East or west? I mean, is that in the city? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you force me to choose, I wouldn't choose either one, so that's it.
All right, that's your answer.
Yeah, yes.
Drake or Bieber?
Drake or
Justin
Bieber?
Bieber.
Oh, Drake. I don't know. Justin Bieber, he's been badly behaved, and you know, I can't buy into that, so it'd be Drake.
What's your favorite Toronto neighborhood?
Oh, probably where I grew up, which is North Toronto, just because I'm so fond of it, because I lived 48 years of my life there, and I grew up there, so you're fond of that?
What's your favorite Friday night restaurant?
Friday night restaurant, probably Bar Mercurio on Bloor Street, just because it's very close to home. You can walk there and you can sort of stagger back if you have to stagger. It's just from fatigue, not from anything else.
We're cutting you off there. Clinton or Trump?
Oh, are you kidding? No, why are you even asking me this? Donald Trump, yeah, he's to Clinton.
Clinton, final answer. What's the first place you take a tourist in Toronto?
Well, the first place I'd like to take them is to the ravines. The first place I end up taking them most of the time is somewhere downtown, like a Queen West or one of those kinds of places, just because that's where it's harder to get to the ravines.
We were talking about parks. What's your favorite Toronto park that currently exists?
Well, Riverdale Farm is technically a park, and I just love it because I took my kids there, and now I take my grandchildren there. After that, I would say High Park would be my next favorite.
What's your most annoying habit?
Oh, well, I talk too much, but I mean, other than that, I don't really know.
Maybe we should use the spell more often.
Yeah, it's probably that I talk too much, but I mean, I don't know. I probably have others that I'm not aware annoy people.
And your Toronto sports team of choice?
Oh, that's a terrible question. But I would have to say, if you forced me to pick, I'd say the Leafs, because I grew up, you know, playing hockey as a kid. There wasn't a baseball team at the time, and we all know the Leafs, so I'd have to say the Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs. That's it. Thank you very much, Mayor, for joining us for this Facebook Live chat. I wanted to thank all of the readers who are watching and who sent all of their questions. There's going to be a few extras if you tune into the Star's Snapchat account. It's Toronto Star News if you want to add us and follow that later. You can also rewatch this video or share this video from our Facebook page, and we'll see you again soon.